let's talk about something that's way more than just a personality type. We're going to open the playbook for what is, essentially, a high-stakes psychological game. This isn't just about dealing with a difficult person. It's about understanding a calculated strategy, one that comes with a very specific set of rules and a whole arsenal of weapons. Yeah, just listen to that quote for a second. An arrow with three prongs. That image, it really sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? It tells you we're not talking about random arguments or misunderstandings. No, this is a precise, targeted attack, and it's designed to wound. That arrow isn't just a metaphor, it's the core of the strategy we're about to break down. So first things first, you have to realize that narcissistic abuse is rarely as chaotic as it feels. It's actually a system. It's like you've been dropped into the psychological maze, and the whole thing is designed to disorient you, to exhaust you, and ultimately to trap you. It's a game where you're a key player, often without ever knowing the game had even started. And here is where it gets really chilling. This isn't some generic, one-size-fits-all strategy. Nope. The narcissist becomes a student of you. They study your vulnerabilities. They watch, they learn, and then they sharpen their tactics to specifically target your insecurities, your fears, your deepest wounds. Okay, so let's crack open this arsenal. The first category of weapons we're going to look at are all about psychological warfare. They target the mind itself, your thoughts, your perception of reality, and your entire sense of who you are. Remember that three-pronged arrow we just mentioned? Well, here it is. And these three tactics, they work together in this perfectly toxic harmony. First, you've got blame, which shifts all responsibility for their actions onto you. Then comes the criticism, just constantly chipping away your confidence, making sure nothing you do is ever good enough. And to top it off, comparison, where they're always measuring you against other people to make you feel worthless. It's a truly devastating combination. Have you ever been in an argument where someone just repeats the same point over and over and over until you finally just give up? Well, that's not just them being annoying. It's a deliberate weapon. It's called forcibly imprinting beliefs. The whole goal is to wear down your mental defenses through sheer repetition until their version of reality gets hammered into your mind. And the mind games don't stop there. They'll use skepticism to make you doubt even the most basic truths you know. There's obfuscation, where they give you half-truths, keeping you completely starved for clarity. And then there's digression, where they derail any real conversation by running you in circles until you're just too exhausted to keep going. So, moving beyond just the mind games, the arsenal also includes tools that are designed to control your environment, your actions, and your relationships. This is really the point where all that psychological pressure starts to bleed into real-world domination. The reason why they want to know everything about you is so crucial. This intense desire to know every single detail about your life, it isn't intimacy. It's not because they care. It's intelligence gathering. It's espionage. Every secret you share, every weakness you reveal, it all just becomes potential ammunition for them to use later. Another major tactic is what the source material describes as putting a stick in the wheel. And it's such a perfect image, right? Anytime you try to move forward, in your career, with a hobby, any personal goal, the narcissist will find a way to create an obstacle. They sabotage your progress to make sure you stay exactly where you are. This is such a critical point. Any help that's offered by a narcissist isn't a gift. It's a loan with impossibly high interest. It's a tool they use to make you feel indebted to them, a favor they can hold over your head forever, all for the purpose of humiliating you and reinforcing how superior they are. These three methods work together to build this incredibly powerful invisible cage. It starts with provocation. They'll push your buttons over and over until you finally explode, just so they can turn around and call you unstable. Then comes isolation, cutting you off from your support system, your friends and family, to make you more dependent on them. And the bars on that cage? That's the threats, both spoken and unspoken, that keep you in line through fear. Now, all these weapons can be used in very different ways. The source material draws a really clear line between two main styles of attack. You've got the overt style and the covert style. And the difference is it's stark. The overt narcissist is impossible to miss. Their anger is explosive, their attacks are direct and face-to-face. They'll intimidate you openly. But the covert narcissist, well, they're much harder to spot. They strike from the shadows with passive aggression, their resentment is simmering below the surface. It's the same goal, just a completely different method of attack. Now listen to this, because it's so important. If you figure out one of their tactics and you stop reacting to it, they don't see that as a reason to change. They don't have some moment of self-reflection. They just see it as a broken weapon. So what do? They just go back to the arsenal and they find a new weapon that works. This brings us to the most dangerous phase in the entire playbook. Sometimes the psychological warfare escalates into what the source material calls a raid, which is an all-out physical assault on your environment. During these intense fits of rage, the game just fundamentally changes. Physical objects aren't just objects anymore. They become extensions of their anger. The goal is to harm you by destroying your property, stealing your valuables, and just creating complete and utter chaos in your personal space. So, given this danger, our source provides some very clear, practical defensive measures. If you sense an escalation like this is coming, your top priority has to be mitigating the damage. That means hiding anything that could be used as a weapon, securing your valuable items, and, crucially, making copies of your important documents and keeping them somewhere safe. This is all about harm reduction. So, we've explored the maze, we've examined the entire arsenal, and I know the sheer number of tactics can feel overwhelming, but understanding them isn't about scaring you. It's about shifting your own position in this game, from being the target to becoming the tactician. You know, the moment you can actually name a tactic, the moment you can see it happening and think, oh, that's blame shifting, or okay, that's provocation, it starts to lose its power over you. The confusion turns into clarity, and that knowledge, that is the single most important tool you have for your own defense. And so we end with this question. The playbook has been laid bare. Their weapons are deception, manipulation, and control. So now, armed with this knowledge, you have to consider your own arsenal, your resilience, your awareness, your boundaries, your support systems. What are your weapons?